I love live theater, whether it's high school drama or college or the community theater or the professional touring group like at the Stranahan or even on Broadway. I love all the expertise, all the skill that is shown, and certainly all the work that goes into every production. I like being in the audience almost regardless of where I'm sitting. It doesn't seem to matter too much. And especially when it's a musical, I find there's one moment that I just look forward to, and that is just as about the time the show is about to start. You know, people have been coming in, there's kind of general noise, people are talking to each other. The orchestra has been warming up, and maybe you hear little bits of the melody that they're playing. And then suddenly all that from the musicians, all that stops. And the lights go down, and you can hear the people finishing their conversations, except for the two people right behind me who always extend it too long. But other than that, and you can even hear a few people who quickly grab a cough drop and take it out of the wrapper so it won't make noise later on. And then there's that moment of collective silence. And you know, any moment, it's all going to begin. Maybe the first note of the orchestra, the curtain will go up, and the show starts off and it unfolds before you. But it's that moment before it starts. I find myself sitting there every time because I rarely go to a show without already knowing the score. I usually listen to the music, I prepare myself. And if I'm honest, what I'm doing is I'm holding my breath. As it's about to start, I can't wait. This is what I've come for. That's how I feel. That's how I feel tonight as we start this first Mass of Advent. It's the beginning of 4 weeks of Advent, which is a time of preparation for this incredible celebration that God is among us, incarnate. We call it Christmas. It's also the beginning of a new liturgical year. And I love the calendar where the entire Bible, this year it's the Gospel of Mark, just unfolds before us. And so I invite you to hold your breath with me in this collective moment of anticipation. And if you look at the gospel passage I just read on the first Sunday of Advent, the one word that just keeps coming up is simple. It says, watch. Watch. Be watchful. We could probably find a few other words to use, like be attentive, be tuned in, or we could even borrow the line from the Schuyler sisters from Hamilton, look around, look around. Look around, look around. That is the theme of Advent. Look around. And what are we looking at? Or what are we looking for? We're not pretending Jesus hasn't been born. He has come. So we're not going to go, we will historically look at it. We're going to be talking about John the Baptist next week and the week after. We'll be talking about Mary. We're also looking ahead to the second coming, Jesus coming in glory. But when we look around, we're looking and being attentive and watchful to the fact that Jesus is here now. And our goal this Advent, as we anticipate the big celebration of birth, God among us, Emmanuel, God among us, is that God is among us. We want to have our eyes open to see how exciting this is. Look around, look around. Now, where do we look? One of my favorite lines is from prophet Isaiah, chapter 55, when the prophet says, seek the Lord where he can be found. So we have to look where the Lord can be found if we're looking for the Lord. And where can he be found? Start by looking within. You don't have to look out there. Look within. Look within your own core, within your heart. And you either find that we are already called and claimed by Jesus. That's baptism. The Lord is already dwelling there. Or you find this deep longing and desire for something more. And that too will lead us to Jesus. Look around. Where else do we look? We look to wherever people come together in unity and harmony and reconciliation, willing to forgive and to accept differences. And especially when people are different and have different backgrounds and different positions on things, but can come together, especially in faith. The Lord is there. We also look at the words of Jesus and the great promise, the promise that I will be with you until the end of the world. We look there and we find, we trust the Lord that he meant it when he said that. We look for the Lord where he can be found, and he can be found here and now. So not just in the past, not just in the future, but right now. In many ways, I think of Advent as being on a lookout on a mountaintop and getting a great view of everything. I remember I was probably in college the first time I saw mountains, the Rocky Mountains. One of my older sisters lived in Colorado. And we went out there, and we went up to Rocky Mountain National Park. We drove up there, and there was this beautiful lookout. And I'll never forget, we all climbed out of the car, and I had not seen such huge mountains before. It was like beyond anything I could comprehend. And I looked out, and it was a clear day, and I could see mountain upon mountain upon mountain. It was like there was no end to it. It was magnificent. It was glorious. But as I'm looking out there, I happened to look down here, and I saw a tiny little ribbon of a road down there. And I said to my older sister, look, there's another road there. And she started laughing, and she looked at me, and she said, oh, Herb, that's the road we came up on. That's what we're doing during the Advent. We're looking at the road that we came up on, and that's the historic coming of Jesus 2,000 years ago. We look at that and we realize that has brought us to this point, and we celebrate that. But we also look out there and say, we are called to the glory of the second coming. But in between those two, we are already on a mountaintop. We already have a vision. We already know we can see the Lord if we know where to look. Seek the Lord where he can be found, and the Lord is within us. Be watchful. Be attentive. Look around, look around.